All right, here we are, Impact and Influence Radio right here on iHeart, and today's broadcast is brought to you by Blinds of Sacramento, Sacramento's complete solution window covering experts. Give them a call, 916-790-8689, or blindsofsacramento.com. Now, we were hanging out with Mr. Nathan Glass, utopiarisk.com. We're going to be talking about business insurance today, and I find this very interesting because I get a lot of insurance people. I get life insurance people, health insurance people, property casualty. We learn a lot about insurance and have over the years on all the radio programs, but I think this is the very first time that we've had somebody that specializes in business insurance, and I have 1.5 billion questions. So this is going to be, I think, a lot of fun. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. And so this is your second time doing a radio recording.
Yep.
You did a podcast last week. I guess this is podcast too, depending on how you look at it. Now, did they have a big studio in the whole thing? Or?
Yeah, it was a converted garage. It was actually a pretty nice setup. He
nice.
Did nice background, video, the whole shebang.
Nice. We do video here, but you got to pay for that.
All right.
Here, I'll give you one. Here's one.
Next time.
Here's one of his.
Next time, bud.
No, because he's he we do it all in 4K, and you've got this switch box. It's all AI switch box that will switch between, and yeah, it's really bitching.
Sweet.
But these $200 an hour to have him here
Right.
to do it. All right, so we're going to be talking about business insurance. What is it? I mean, I know what it is, but what is it?
Yeah, so it can cover a lot of different facets. A lot of times we're talking about workers' comp, general liability, commercial properties, commercial auto. So think of a lot of the things that you can touch related to your business. That's mainly the things that we're talking about here.
Very interesting. Now, give me more, right? Give me more. Are we able to protect the business itself? Slips and falls? Yep. Okay, explain this all to me.
Yeah, so lawsuits is a big one. And so I start with the things you could touch, but it also expands to a lot of the lawsuits you're facing. Obviously, slips and falls, is professional liability. So basically, you say something maybe you shouldn't, and you get sued as a result of it.
Yes.
The other big thing we're seeing a lot right now is what we refer to as cyber liability. So people get hacked, and a lot of these hackers, they're demanding Bitcoin, and so you got to go, you buy your Bitcoin, and then send it to the hacker, hope the hacker then releases all your stuff, their phishing schemes.
Okay, let's really dig into this, okay?
Yeah.
Because one of our writers in Impact and Influence magazine, that was our product placement. One of our writers is Dragon Scale Cybersecurity. Marcus Dixon's very knowledgeable in this stuff. He's been doing it for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
And, I read some of these articles, and it almost seems, and I'm not being disrespectful, I'm being naive, okay? It almost seems like it can't happen to me.
Yep.
Is this stuff really happening, like legitimately happening? Because we hear about crime, we hear about, carjackings, and we hear about murders, and we always say, it can never happen to me. It won't happen to me, right? What are the odds of that?
Yeah.
But every time I talk to somebody, they're talking about cybersecurity.
I know. It was like 6 months ago or so, I want to say. I think it was in October, and 3 in a week. I received 3 phishing scams in a week personally from an old accountant of mine, from an old lawyer of mine, and then just from a friend of mine, all saying, hey, please sign this DocuSign. None of them I had been in conversations with, so every single one I threw up a red flag saying, all right, this is not from them. It was 3 in a week, and these were all small businesses. These weren't multi-billion-dollar organizations. These were your accountant down the street, your lawyer with a couple people in the office, and they see it all the time, unfortunately. Hackers, you hear about the big ones in the news, obviously.
Yes. Yeah, there was a big one, Gmail, just yesterday.
Yep, exactly. So you hear about those, but you don't hear about the ones that are right down the street from the people that you use and trust on a regular basis. And the reality is, they don't have the safeguards in place. So it's kind of like leaving your front door unlocked.
That's exactly what they say. And I'm thinking to myself, What safeguards are we talking about? I've got
Yeah.
two with the authenticity with the key that
Yep.
sends the text message. I mean, what more can you do?
Yep. And I let the cybersecurity people handle that side of things for sure. There's a lot that can go into it, and there's so much more on a regular basis. I mean, even just 5 years ago, the multi-factor authentication, that was kind of all right. I checked my box, all good. Now it's like that's not even doing the basics.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So more so.
This is wild, and we're just allowing this?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of the stuff that companies are getting in place is being forced upon them. You sign up for something and it says, sorry, you got to do this. There's no way around it anymore. You got to set up this X, Y, and Z. So that's a lot of it, but there's so much more to it. And your cybersecurity people, they're going to help you on the things you should be doing to prevent it from happening in the first place. What's
Wild,
the
dude.
next thing after that? Because
Wild.
is reliable as that can be, there's nothing that's 100%.
So where does business insurance come into this?
So if you have something that happens, if you get hacked, somebody's in your system and they're maybe sending stuff out on your behalf, a lot of times you'll receive contacts saying, hey, we'll get out. You just have to send us X, Y, and Z. Maybe 25,000 in Bitcoin or 50,000 or whatever, right?
Yeah, good luck.
I know, right?
Oh my God, $25. Maybe I got you.
Yeah.
Holy crap! You see how much I charge for this stuff? I don't have that kind of money.
And so you're kind of, they got you by the scruff of the neck, if you will, or if you want to use a different part of the body.
Yeah.
And so you just have to figure out what you're going to do in that situation. And so you did everything right up until that point, but sometimes it's just not enough.
So how these, I've talked with Chris and Marcus over at here we are talking cybersecurity instead of what you do, but that's what these shows are.
Yeah.
But I've talked to Marcus and Chris about it, and they're like, they come in through your email, and it's something that you clicked wrong, and blah blah blah. I'm like, well, they don't click on anything, right?
It's easy to say, but so many people do. And there's a friend of mine that he actually sends out mock things at least every month to his staff.
Just to
like fake phishing.
Yes.
Yep. And see who accidentally clicked on something.
I got a notification from Amazon. You just received $3.10 from a refund on your shipping. Click here to retrieve. And I was like, I ain't clicking on nothing, fool.
Right.
So I go to my Amazon and then it says $3.10 credit. And I'm like, it was cool.
Yeah. And I mean, they're getting so much more sophisticated because
I'm like, well, it was legit, but I mean, I thought it was a scam.
And it could have been.
Yeah, it totally could have been.
Because they're getting so good. The things that get you are the things that you're like, oh, maybe. If I was still an active client of that CPA and maybe we had been talking about something actively,
you'd never known.
I would have never known. I would have clicked on it. I would have been screwed.
Thing? Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's
That's
those
insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is insane. Okay. Well, okay. Apart from the cybersecurity, where does the insurance come in to protect?
So the insurance part is what happens if something goes wrong.
Okay.
And so we'll just stick on the cybersecurity bandwagon for right now. So you're in that situation and you're like, crap, I don't have 25,000 in Bitcoin sitting in my wallet right now.
Yeah, but they say that only something like 10 or 20% of ransoms actually get your stuff back anyway.
Yeah, it's not 100% for sure.
Yeah.
But there's a couple things that can happen. And especially what happens when you're the one handling it yourself as opposed to maybe you have a policy. And these are insanely cheap policies.
Yes.
So, it's something where you call them, you say, hey, this is what's going on. They say, not a problem. We're going to pay them. We're going to take care of paying it. We're also going to coordinate with them to make sure that they leave your system quickly, efficiently. They don't take anything. They don't damage anything, everything like that. Now, if that's a phone call, that's an easy process.
Yeah.
If that's not a phone call, that's a nightmare of a week, a month, a year.
And that's what Chris and Marcus have said. He said, they're like, I'm like, dude, I don't know if I need. And he's like, you will. And I'm like, I hear that. I've been in this a long time. You know how many people try to sell me their stuff? And again, it's no disrespect. We don't know what we don't know.
Right.
And I asked them a million questions, and then they explain this stuff to me, and I don't understand it.
Yeah. And the other thing that's really hard about insurance,
and that's where we screw ourselves.
Yeah, is
I'm sitting here. I'm like, I need to call friggin' Marcus right now and be like, dude, okay, sign me up.
Right. And for everything insurance related, you don't think you need it until you absolutely need it.
I know.
And that's the really hard part. And we were chatting ahead of time where it just, people in my industry, we get a really bad reputation. And you know what? We've earned it. Unfortunately, we've earned it where it's, hey, this worst case scenario is 100% going to happen to you. You absolutely need to spend this money here to take care of it. And, the really cool thing actually about cyber right now is there's this cool new tool that'll say, all right, it's this % probability that you're going to have an incident, and this is what it's going to be under. Mm-hmm. So if you're a company and we're running this tool and, you're, let's just say, a manufacturing company, you might have a lower probability of having something happen than somebody that deals with people's personal information on a regular basis. And so we can say, all right, you're at this probability. What do you want to do? Do you want to buy it, or do you want to take the chance that totally going to be fine and just self-insure this? And that's really all it is at the end of the day, is you're looking at it, looking at the probability, figuring out, hey, is this something I just want to take the risk on, or is this something for whatever that I want to pass off to somebody else?
Okay, so let's talk about something else that you had mentioned. And every business has this issue. They say something wrong.
Yeah.
They say something, and here's the caveat is, we say something that's maybe a cultural reference today, but in 20 years or 10 years from now, that is not okay.
Right.
Right. I mean, we're right now, all the kids are doing the whole 6'7", 6'7", and that could become something that offends somebody someday. Yep. Right. So, I mean, insurance and protecting against the slip of the tongue.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely something that we handle, and there's just so many lawyers out there, and I heard this story. I have not fact checked it. So, apologize if it's not true.
It's okay, because I'm going to say something about lawyers here in a second too.
But I don't know. When I drive around the Sacramento area, or especially down in Southern California, holy crap.
On every billboard.
Every billboard is a lawyer about injuries, and that is also being dovetailed into personal injuries, saying something wrong and getting sued for it.
Yes.
And so what I've heard, may or may not be true, is that private equity is actually getting into this. So a lot of these used to be settled between the insurance company and the plaintiff. And so private equity is saying, okay, lawyers, will front the bill for this if you take it all the way through to court and get a larger settlement. And so that process is jumping up the amount of claim, or the amount of money that insurance companies are paying out for these claims.
Which means that's why premiums are going up.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
And so I heard that in the automotive side, and so we're not talking about auto insurance, but you do commercial auto insurance, so we can talk about that. The reason why our premiums have gone up, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is one, we're driving more.
Yep.
Two, the cost of cars have just gone through the roof. The average new car, do you know what the average new car price is?
No, I don't.
$46,000.
Is it really?
The average new car price is $46,000. The average used car price is like $32,000. That's insane.
That is insane.
That is insane. And so when you think about that, the average car payment is like $880 a month. That is nuts.
Yeah.
That's just insane. So you're thinking, okay, if the cars have gotten more expensive, the parts have gotten more expensive, we're driving more, which increases the higher probability of an accident. And then the lawyers.
Mhm.
because now everybody is just calling a lawyer every time they get into a car accident and they're suing the insurance company.
Yep.
And the insurance companies have to pour all this money out. And who's paying for it? All of us.
Yep.
There's no reason that I should be paying $300 a month for insurance. There's no reason for it.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is.
It is the way it is.
And I called everybody. I've called everyone, and they said, yeah, $335, $382, $315. I'm like, well, my $303 is still cheaper than everywhere else, so I'll stick with that. It just is what it is.
Yeah, it is. And, you touched on a lot of the things that are contributed to it. And as a consumer and, as a business owner, and I'm a business owner here in California too, it's frustrating to see these costs go up and up and up. So many things have skyrocketed since COVID. Insurance is no exception.
Uh-huh.
And so it's really hard to sit there and talk about the big picture when it's a smaller piece of the pie that you're looking at.
Yeah, but the problem is that if you're not protected, you can kick the can down the road so long.
Yep.
And there's going to come a time where you have to call your insurance guy.
Yeah.
And you are going to really be hoping and praying that you've got your things in sorts.
Yeah,
because if your house burns down, if your business burns down, if somebody slips and falls, you come on the radio show and say something stupid, it could bite you in the behind down the line. And
Absolutely.
so you've got to make sure that you're ready. And that's what the insurance that's what it's for.
Yeah. Yeah. And what a lot of businesses...
And it's all a write-off anyway.
It is. It is.
I mean, it's a business expense. You're either going to give it to the government in taxes or you're going to take it and write it off. And I mean...
Yeah, but, for me and the way that I look at it is obviously there's the insurance part of it, but you got to look at the bigger picture.
Right.
And so like there was this real estate investor that I was chatting with last week, and he, super nice guy. He's more generous to the insurance company than maybe I would be. But he pays for a lot of claims out of pocket. And he just says, I don't want this to go to the insurance company. The insurance company skyrocket my rates because, it's going to be more in the big picture if I do that.
Yes.
And so really good way to approach it. But it gets into the bigger picture of what's actually going on in that business. And how is he factoring in what he's paying for out of pocket? How has he adjusted his insurance policies accordingly? Are there things that he isn't covered for?
The problem
that
is we get scared.
Yeah.
And so we get scared. And so let me tell you a story. This is just a simple situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've got a Mercedes-Benz. It's anniversary weekend. I'm taking my wife to Sausalito. We're going to go get some nice dinner in the city. And we're on 101 South. I've told the story on, I don't even know, 15 episodes now. But we're on 101 South coming into like San Rafael. And there's the freeway has unsettled from the storm.
Mm.
And so the slab has moved up. And so we hit it, and it feels like the car just like disintegrates. We bent both front rims. The steering's all jacked up. We didn't get a flat, but we were in trouble. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we pull over, we look at the car's in trouble. It's drivable. I'm not going to call the tow and then tow all the way back to Sacramento. That's where AAA comes in, right? You
Yeah.
should probably have your AAA, right? Insurance. So the point is that we get home, we end up going through drive-through. We get some Panda Express. We're upset. We get home, I call the insurance company, and they put the claim in, and they're like, well, we can cover the 2 front wheels, but we can't cover the 2 rear wheels. Now, they were custom rims.
Mm.
So when I go to my tire guy, which I've gone to for 25 years, he says, I can only order you a set of 4. I can't order you 2.
Yeah.
So I have to pay for 2 out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So I pay for 2 out of pocket. The insurance company sends me $900. The tires are fine. Okay, the tires are good. He does an alignment. He doesn't even charge me for the alignment. So all it was $450 for each tire and install, or each wheel and install. So they send me the $900. I pay the difference of $900 and whatever plus the fees. So it was $1,800 total damage. Long story short, I got 2 points on my record.
Mm-hmm.
And my insurance went up like $110 a month or whatever for 3 years.
Yeah.
So you're talking $3,600 minimum.
Oh yeah.
Plus, I had to pay the $900 out of pocket for them to send me $900. So yeah, I can understand why he would, and that's where the insurance company gets a bad rap.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what could have helped is
I should have just paid the $900.
Right. But how do you know that?
How do I know that?
Right. And so that's where having somebody that
Like yourself that I can ask those questions.
Right, that guides you through the process, because honestly, the insurance industry, it's a labyrinth and they design it that way. It's really a black box and they don't want anybody else knowing what's in the black box.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have somebody guiding you through that labyrinth, getting you through to the other side, that's really, in my opinion, something that can be really helpful. And so if you want to DIY it, 100%, there's going to be some bumps along the way and you'll learn some lessons the hard way.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a little bit of guidance through that, whether or not it's how to prevent the claims from happening in the first place, or is this what I actually need?
That's actually a very, very good element. And so, the people listening, the first thing that came to mind when you said that was, okay, don't drive your car. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the protections within the business to ensure that if something does happen, you're protected. But let's try to prevent anything from happening.
Right. And, sometimes it can come across as the no fun guy. I get it. We'll talk to companies and, hey, are your people texting and driving? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And actually on the way over here, I saw probably one of the worst accidents I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, really?
And so I saw the engine before I saw the car, and the engine was 20 feet away, just one exit up.
Good Lord.
Yep.
Well, I hope they're okay. There's been a lot of that lately.
There has.
You see how fast people are driving out there?
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. I'm the no fun guy because I'm saying don't drive 120 miles an hour.
I used to have Porsches. I had a Mustang Bullet. You know what a Mustang Bullet is?
No.
The Steve McQueen car?
Oh, yeah.
The green one?
Yeah.
Yes. I had one of those. You could not drive 100 in that car.
Yeah.
There was just no such thing.
Yep.
My Porsches, it was the same thing. You drop it into third gear, you were 110.
Yeah.
I drive a 3-cylinder Buick now. I drive that thing at 66 miles an hour. I swear to God. I had it to 80 one time and was like, whoa, slow it down, Grandpa.
Right? But I mean, I was living in Livermore several years ago, and I saw an advertisement of a Toyota Camry that got pulled over going 120. A Toyota Camry.
They go that fast?
Apparently. I had no idea. So.
Why, though? Why? Why do you need to go that fast?
No idea.
Are you in that big of a hurry? I always tell people, my wife, she gets so pissed off. She's like, I'm going to be late. I'm like, well, you should have woke up early.
Yeah.
I was like, man, something my parents used to tell me.
Right. Yeah, but that's a lot, When we work with companies, we kind of, before the protection piece, before the insurance piece, what are you doing to prevent the claims from happening in the first place? Because like you said, when you have a claim and it bumps everything up and it affects everything down the road for years, it's not just hey, it's going to hit me for a little bit, I'll recover. This is a 3 to 5 year.
Yeah, and with a business, I mean, that just comes right off the bottom end.
Absolutely.
And it makes the business harder to run.
Yep. And where do you allocate for that cost? Do you take it out of profit? Do you pass that on to your customers?
Yeah. And it's hard to be competitive. As soon as you start raising your price, then you're, and that's a tough one. Passion. Why are you so passionate about this?
I think it's something, there's a lot of...
Did you wake up, I mean, when you were like 8 years old, and you're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're like, I want to be an insurance salesman. It's like...
You know what? I have yet to meet the person that says that. Maybe I'll meet them someday. I know a lot of people in insurance.
There was this guy years ago. It was a documentary, and he was a company that manufactured toilets, right? And he showed his office, and his office was just covered in like little toilets everywhere. And his name was John. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this guy probably as a child had like a passion for toilets, right? And I think about it, and I'm just, maybe you had a passion for insurance. You just never knew it.
No. I mean, I actually went to school for education. And so when I got out and I just stumbled into insurance like so many people in our industry.
What did you go to school for?
Music education.
Okay, that's why you keep asking me about music.
I do.
You're a music nut too.
And my wife's a musician too. She's a professional
great.
musician. So
what does she play?
French horn.
No kidding. So she
Yep.
played in the symphony and stuff?
Yep.
One of my clients, his wife is I want to say she plays the harp
Oh, yeah.
in the symphony.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's where, the education part came in. And like I mentioned,
But
insurance,
insurance is the same as education, though.
all you're doing is educating.
But it's more than that. And maybe
Mhm.
you haven't realized this, but it's protection. You
Mhm.
get an education so you're protected.
Mhm.
So at least you have an understanding of what it is. See, I don't have an education. My childhood, I've said it, go back and listen to old episodes. I've said it enough times. I don't need to keep saying it. My parents didn't do what they were supposed to do. Okay, they just didn't.
Mm.
And so in the school system that I was in, didn't do what they were supposed to do. And so coming of adult age and starting to build businesses, I had to stumble and stumble and stumble and stumble and stumble and see. You probably came from a different. Parents were like, go to school, get a good education. And that's where in education is nothing more than insurance. It's all education is.
Mhm.
It's insurance. It's
100%.
protecting you for your life.
100%.
And so essentially, if you wanted to become an educator, that's what you do with insurance. You educate me. Basically.
Exactly. And, insurance is kind of one of
I
those
broke it down for you.
last, it's kind of one of those last forgotten things for so many businesses because it's, what you don't need it until all of a sudden you need it. And so
then you're screwed.
You buy it, you put it on the shelf, you hope you never need it, and hopefully you never do.
And it's fairly affordable too.
A lot of times, and especially if you structure it correctly and you have somebody that's looking out for exactly what you need
Mhm.
and not saying, "Hey, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this."
Mhm. Okay, so the tips, the different types of business insurance, the people that you think people should absolutely 100% use or have.
Yeah.
What is that?
I would start with general liability.
Okay,
Good.
explain that.
Good catch-all for so many different things. You mentioned people get hurt.
Yes.
Yep, we're in your studio right now. If I sprain my ankle here walking out of here, unfortunately, that's on you.
Yep, we have insurance.
Yep.
Yep.
Second of all, if you have employees, especially in the state of California, it's required by law, you need workers' comp.
Okay. We don't have employees. We have contractors.
Yep. So if you have 1099 contractors that you don't need, we work a lot with contractors, meaning your roofers, your general contractors, stuff like that. And so a lot of times they'll do subcontracting. So they'll hire somebody else, and that's a 1099 relationship. But your subcontractors need to carry workers' comp. We had a client.
Explain that.
Yeah. So essentially what happens is the insurance company wants to know that there's workers' comp in place, not just the insurance company, but the state of California. And so if you don't have that relationship structured correctly, not only does the insurance company come back and say, hey, actually, this wasn't a 1099 relationship. This was an employee W-2
I've heard
relationship.
that many, many times. I had a business coach one time come to me and is a business coach. And I'm like, you don't know this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, yeah. He goes, I'm not going to be able to advertise with you, man. He goes, I just got hit by the state of California. And I'm like, how long have you been a business coach? For 15 years. How did you not know that by issuing computers to your people, that is considered an employee, not a contractor?
Right.
You're giving them equipment, dude.
Yep.
How do you not know that?
Yep. And
people don't. And this is a business coach.
Yeah. And so like franchise tax board, you get in trouble with them. You get in trouble with the, state of California for the Department of Insurance. There's so much that can happen. If you have the 1099 relationship, great. Just make sure you structure it correctly.
And understand what the laws are.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know, go to ChatGPT because that'll probably spell it out for you.
That's a great place to start, 100%.
Like, seriously.
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. What else?
So if you have vehicles and you're using them for business purposes, commercial auto.
Okay.
We already talked about cyber liability.
Yep.
So this
scares the crap out of me.
Yep.
Dude.
And, there's actually so many more instances where it's actually people that don't think they have the exposure, your contractors, your manufacturing companies, stuff like that end up having the issues at the end of the day. It's not always your white collar industries. It's not always your lawyers, your CPAs.
Yes.
So again, just something to double check on. Your professional liability. So if you're in the habit of giving advice or you're saying things out there,
Mm-hmm.
you're opening yourself up to lawsuits. So there's a lot that goes around there. So
anytime I do advice, I do it's pretty generic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I everything that we do is entrepreneur based, and it's really, really generic stuff. I'm not that smart of a guy. I'm not a scholar or anything like that, but like the cold call king, we're telling people, X number of calls equals X number of prospects, X number of, it's
right.
just generic stuff,
I one of these days I'm going to stop being surprised, but I still get surprised by some of these lawsuits that come out there. And it's like, how are you trying to hold somebody else responsible for that? Yeah. I mean, I still remember the lady that held, I think it was like Kia or somebody responsible. She got an STD by, doing it in the backseat of a car, and she held the car manufacturer responsible for her STD. And I was like, how do you even come up with this stuff? But they do. So, and until they stop coming up with this stuff, unfortunately, you're going to need that insurance for it.
What else?
So I would say those are the core ones to consider. There's always these real niche situations. One of the things that we work with some of our larger clients, when you get to a certain size, there are some more creative things that you can do. You can start kind of having your own insurance company, because there's really
Jon Robert Quinn Insurance.
Kind of.
Ooh.
All right. Like the sound of that.
Like that. That's something I haven't done. I was a lender at one point.
And so there's these different stages, but essentially what that allows you to do is two things. The insurance company, and everybody knows it, obviously they're in a for-profit business. They're not a not-for-profit.
That's actually not a bad idea.
So
I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I'm like, holy crap, that's actually a really good idea. We could tie all of that into everything else that we're doing. Businesses that we work with could be getting policies and be signing. Dude, we need to schedule. I just bumped that mic. Oh, these mics make more noise than the other ones do. We have new mics, guys.
I bet your sound guy loves what you're doing right now.
It's okay that don't hit the mic. It's okay to tap this. But don't hit the mic. But no. That actually should be a conversation we should sit down and we should discuss that.
It's a really interesting thing that not a lot of people are aware of. And even if they hear about it, they're thinking, okay, I need to be a multi-billion-dollar organization to do this. And you don't.
You don't.
You can be, you're probably going to have to be a multi-million-dollar organization. But there's these really cool things that you can do. And you can kind of layer it in and build it over time.
You can still broker.
There's a lot of things you can do for sure.
Yeah.
And
we could work through you and have that tied into our platform. That's actually really smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got some cool stuff. You see how this works, guys? So now I'm going to give advice. He's the guy saying, "Don't give advice." And I'm like, "I'm going to give advice. Here's my advice." Network. You never know who you're going to run into.
Mm-hmm.
You go to these networking events. If you're in the Sacramento region listening, which odds are you are, go on to opera.com, awepra.com, click on upcoming events. It's basically all the events that I'm attending, right? So if it's up there, essentially I'm going there, and or one of my guys. The point is that start to get to know these people. And what I'm finding that's interesting is that you meet somebody for the first time. You see their face, you see their eyes, you see their mannerisms, you forget their name, and then you see them again, and then you might remember the name or you might not, but you might recognize the smile or the eyes. And then eventually you start to learn their face and their temperament and their personality, and you start to learn about their history. And of course, now you know their name, and then eventually you learn their birthdays, and you start to know these people. And you go to enough of these things, you know a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really a cool thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's free. You just have to show up, right? And so it's really cool that, that you're here, that we're going to start to establish this relationship. What event was it that we met at?
It was a networking group. I think it was on a Thursday, maybe it was on a Friday. I can't remember. It's mainly virtual. Kathleen is there, and man, I am blanking on the other guy's name with the health. It was at
Aaron Provenzel.
Yes, Aaron. Yes.
Yes.
Man,
okay, so that was the lunch one over at the Mexican food place, Citrus Heights.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Cool. That was a good event, dude.
That was great.
That was a good event.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the better ones that I couldn't believe how many friggin' people I knew in that thing. I walked in there, I was like, holy crap, it's like a family reunion. That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was awesome. What was so funny is Vic comes in and sits down next to me. Vic's one of our writers.
Oh, okay.
And he goes, "Hey, Larry, thanks for the invite." I was like, "Fool, I invited you like 2 weeks ago." He's like, "Oh, I forgot about that one." I was like, "Dude, seriously? Like you snubbed me like that?" Nah, that was great. That was a good event. That was a good.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron, you know what? I like Aaron.
Yeah,
he's got something. Have you looked into his business?
A little bit.
OsteoStrong.
Yeah. Yep.
Man, let me tell you, dude. We don't know when we're gonna break a hip.
I know.
We laugh about it at our age, but we're old, dude. We're not young no more.
Yeah, they talk about when you're 40, you gotta it really starts.
How old are you now?
No, I'm getting there.
How old are you now?
I'm 37.
Oh, you're still in your 30s.
Yeah.
Oh man, you've got a thing coming. When you turn 40, I cannot explain it. It's not a psychological thing. Your body's different.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. I cannot explain it. And I went to ChatGPT and I looked this thing up and I started researching it a little bit, like legitimately researching it. And it's literally like the chemical makeup of your body has changed in your 40s when you turn 40. And it's different for women than it is for men. It's later for women. It's like 45 for women and 40 for men. But let me tell you, dude, you wake up like within a week or two or a month or whatever of your 40th birthday, and it's all different. Your mind is different. What interests you is different. Colors that you liked before you don't like anymore. Foods you liked before you don't like anymore. It's weird, dude.
Oh man,
it's a weird thing.
I better still like my wine at that point.
I don't know. No, it's just a weird thing. No, your body and people that are in their 40s know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I was talking to my hairstylist and she goes, "Is it true that when you turn 40, your ears itch?" I'm like, "Yep."
Really?
Yes.
I hadn't heard that before.
It's just I'm telling you, it's just a weird thing. When you and then I guess in 50 it's different stuff, in 60 it's different stuff. It's so crazy. And my mom told me, she goes, "You know why old people are always so angry?" And I'm like, "Why are old people so?" Because they're in pain all the time. And I go, "I never thought about that."
Mm-hmm.
We just don't realize it until you start getting there. Say, "No, I'm telling you, dude."
Yep. All right. I countdown going. 3 more years. That's all I got left.
No, I was talking with Aaron and he was talking about how he goes, what did he say? Like 5 years ago, he goes, 5 years ago I was your size, and I'm like, "I'm not fat." He goes, "Yeah, but you're like 50 pounds heavier than I am." And I was like, "I'm not going to lie about that." No, seriously though, we don't realize it. We don't realize what it does to our joints, what it does to our muscles, our feet, our back. We don't think about it until we're in trouble.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's crazy stuff. And I'm still eating maple donuts.
They taste so good.
They're so good. You can't eat that crap when you get older, man.
No.
I'm telling you.
No.
When was the last time you went to Taco Bell?
It's been years.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
I didn't eat Taco Bell for a long time, and then just one day I went back and I was like, "Oh, I've missed this place."
No. My wife's had me on 40 prep for the past 2 years, so cut out.
And that's why you look like you do, man. This guy, if you don't know, I swear to God, you remind me of it. Did you watch the movie The Big Short?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you remember the gentleman he played in Succession.
Oh yep.
Okay.
Yep.
He worked with Mark Baum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's who your build is. I mean, like perfect figure. And then you look at me and they call me the Tony Soprano of radio, which says everything. It says everything. That I'm just this fat guy that's on the air now. That's just what it's become. All right. So Utopia Risk. utopiarisk.com 925-495-0025. Anything you want to add before we get out of here, man?
One thing I want to do is reach out to the Spanish speaking community. My business partner, originally from Mexico, fluent in Spanish. And so, this is definitely a business problem, but also we just have seen the Hispanic community also severely underserved. And so if you're a Spanish speaker, just prefer to speak in Spanish, we're able to help you out there too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
No, seriously, that's a service.
Yeah.
That is just phenomenal. My wife is from Uzbekistan, Russian.
Yeah.
And same thing, it's they come over here and they learn the language, but
Mm-hmm.
you learn the language in every day, right?
Yeah.
In hi, bye, tacos, I
Yeah.
want to eat, I'm hungry, I need a place to live, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
But you don't know the detailed stuff.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
And that's where having that liaison, that Spanish speaker can come in and answer those real questions.
Yeah.
And they have a real understanding as to what it is, not just your sign on the dotted line.
Right. Yeah. My business partner, Miguel, learned English by translating American songs. He loved American music. And so he just sat there, listened to it over and over again. And
I want to touch on something before we get out of here. We have a family friend
Mhm.
that Hispanic family, and the old coworker of my wife. And New Year's Eve, he's over at our house, and kids are watching TV. And when we had a TV, we don't have a TV in the house anymore. I say that to everybody. We're super minimalist people now. But one day we just said, I don't want a TV in the house. We got rid of it, and we've never had one again. It's been like 10 years. But no, we had them over for New Year's Eve, and the kids were watching TV, and we're sitting there at the kitchen table, and we're talking with them. And I said, so how long have you been in the States? And he goes, oh, gosh, I've been here. Oh, man, I want to say he said 20 years now. I think that sounds about right. 20 years. He's a business owner. His wife works for the county. They have a home. The kids are, I sold them my piano so the kids can take piano lessons and so forth. And so they, and I asked him, I said, so how long, how did you, when you came to the States, how'd you do it? He goes, coyote. And I was like, what's a coyote? And he tells me the whole story.
Yeah.
About how he came over the border and he crossed over and he took a boat and they came across this thing, and then they ran through the desert and the whole bit.
Yeah.
They climbed over the wall, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, holy crap, that's how you did it. And he goes, yeah. And the first thing I did is I went to this government office and started filing the paperwork, and I got a job in construction and da. And that's what he did. And he did it. And they're citizens and they own a home and a business and the whole thing. And I'm just like, that is what America is.
Absolutely.
The land of opportunity. He goes, yeah, I watched people die, crossing the border, families and all kinds. It was crazy.
Right.
And that's how he came here for a better life. And he met his wife and started a family and the whole bit. And that right there is like one of the most beautiful stories. Like, I would want to write a book about that. That's like one of the most beautiful things. And that's what America is all about. Is like, this is the opportunities that we have.
Yeah. And the more people that I meet through my business partner in that community, I hear that story so often. And there's a reason.
So incredible.
I'm taken aback every single time.
I know.
Because I can't imagine. I've never been through anything like that. I have 2 kids.
Okay, let me tell you this. My father-in-law. Okay, so my parents didn't give me anything that I needed in my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they really missed the boat. Really missed the boat. And when you're in your 40s and you still identify that, it means they really missed the boat, right? You're not just a 20-year-old kid that's with a bad attitude and you're like, oh, my parents suck. When you're in your 40s and you're an adult now, and you're like, man, I really wish somebody taught me how to shave. Somebody taught me how to drive. Somebody taught me that I need to balance my checkbook. Things that you use in life, right? So I look at my wife's family. And so my wife, when I met my wife, I didn't know what love was. I didn't know what a family unit was. had no idea because I didn't have any of that. And so I start to learn my wife's family story. They came over here from Uzbekistan because they were prosecuting Christians.
Mm.
And so they came over here, and I think Dad came over here first to start the paperwork. And Mom and the kids, if I remember correctly, Mom and the kids went to Moscow to live with family until they could come over. I'm screwing part of this story up, but you're going to get the point. And so they started the paperwork, and then they all came over. And once they had the paperwork started, and they went through the process, became citizens and so forth. And I think about this. Dad was 44 with 4 kids.
Wow.
Think about this. Think about, you've got 2 kids now. You have 2 more kids. You're 44 years old. You think you've got life figured out.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have to go to a new country and start over on their services, on their programs, on their whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He started a business. He bought a house. He put all 4 kids through college. That is the strongest man I think I've ever met in my entire life.
Absolutely.
And Mom supporting. And Mom, I tell you something. You know, it's funny. Is my mom, my wife said that I need to get a T-shirt. So when I go to Mom's, it says my mother-in-law's favorite son or favorite child, because I'm the favorite of all the, not only her kids, but of course her adopted kids, you know, the son-in-laws.
Yeah.
And so I'm the favorite, and she'll always admit it too. It's the funniest thing. But no, just it's incredible to think of the strength that some of these people have. Yeah. And I know this has nothing to do with insurance, but I commend these the immigrants that come into this country with a dream, and now you're here to help protect these people. I'm actually tearing up, which is completely inappropriate, and it's just, I think about, if I were to have to do that, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could go to another country and have to start over with a family and the whole. I don't know if I'd have the strength to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think it dovetails into why I enjoy what I do so much, is because when you start digging into a business and a business owner and the real stories behind it, they're so inspiring. I get inspired so often by the people that we work with, and it's just, insurance can be a very dull thing.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
Yeah,
but the stories are not.
But you're protecting too.
Yeah,
you're protecting these people. That's just amazing, absolutely amazing. I can't believe I teared up over insurance. That's unbelievable. Okay, all right. Let me get back to being normal. Nathan Glass, 925-495-0025, utopiarisk.com. Dude, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. And thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.